What's up, everybody? It's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out the Swagman Current platform style bike rack on our 2016 Nissan Rogue. Now, this is a platform style bike rack. Those usually go two different ways, either hold the bike by the tire or the frame. This one's going to be a frame one. You can see the coated hook comes down on this top tube, pushing down on it, pushing it down into those cradles. So it holds it nice and tight, so you can shake it back and forth. But because of that frame contact, I would recommend not using a carbon fiber bike. If that's the other bike you want to bring with your e-bike, this wouldn't be the best for that, just because that hook's going to come down on that frame. It could damage it. So if you have an aluminum road bike, that's all good. Mountain bike, just fine too. Now, also, if you look down at the cradles, it's going to have those straps down there, and that's going to help hold the tires in place. So it just also helps make it not go anywhere. The cradles are big enough to accept. If you look in the middle, you can see there's the road bike. It's for those. Slightly bigger for, you see the e-bikes tires about that big, and the straps and the cradles can accommodate fat tire bikes too. So that's nice right out of the box. They can do all those different kinds of bikes. Some bike racks, you have to buy that stuff separately, so I really like that it's included. Another nice feature that this one has against some of the other ones is that, let's say you forgot something in the back. You don't want to have to take all this off to get to the back, or you got to put something in there at the end. You can tilt it away with the bike loaded. Let me show you how to do that. So just going to grab the center mast here, pull up on this lever, and tilt it away. You tilt it away. We can pop open our back here. Plenty of space if you forgot to maybe throw that cooler in there, or you want to grab something out of the back before you go. You can do that even with the bike loaded. That's a pretty handy thing. Then you just push it back up by the center mast. It's going to snap into place just like that. You know it's locked in, and it's not going to go anywhere. Look in here at the hooks again. You got a button. You just push on that, and you can move those up and down. So that's what you do to go to load your bike. You put that in place and push the hook down onto the frame, keep it in place. Another nice thing is they have locks built in, so you can lock them here, and then this can't be moved at all, so people can't mess with it when you're not around. That's a nice feature. You can lock it bike side and lock it at the hitch side, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and remove this bike and get it out of the way. So come down here first. Remove the straps. Something on the straps that I want to point out, you just got this rubber spacer here, so that's what's going to touch the inside of your wheel, so you don't have to worry about this touching anything or scratching anything. So remove both of those. And then come up here, slide our hooks up. Push in that button, and it pops up. You can even, to make it easier, completely remove the hooks. That way you don't have to get to try and fit the bikes around them. So now I can just come over here and walk the bike off. The bike out of the way, we're just going to replace our hooks. And then you can even fold that out of the way when not in use, just to take up less space. Make sure the hooks are out of the way of the cradles, but then it would look like this. Now normally, I would show you how it folds up towards the vehicle. You pull this here and then lift it up, but unfortunately it makes contact with our Rogue today, so it's not going to have that tilting feature. I'll try and get as close as I can to it. You can see over here it's going to make contact, so we don't want to do that. So folding it up towards your Rogue, just because the hitch is so far in, it's not going to be possible. Otherwise, just fine. Let me replace those straps real quick, and we can move on to measurements. Okay, now let's measure out from the bumper to the bike rack to see how much it adds to the back of your vehicle. It's one of those things just to keep in mind if this is your first bike rack, the first time you got to hitch and add something back there, you just want to remember it's back there when you're back out of those tight spaces or whatnot. You don't want any issues. So from the bumper out, it looks like this will be the furthest point. It's going to be about 23 inches it's going to add to the back there. Now normally we would fold it up and see how much space you save, but again, you can't fold it up on your Rogue, so that's not an option here. Now the closest point to your bumper is going to be right here. It's going to be 7 inches. But you can see there's plenty of room in between there. You shouldn't have any issues at all. It doesn't move towards the bumper at all when it's going down the road, so it should be fine. Another thing we usually like to point out is ground clearance. It does have a rise in the shank, so I don't think it'll have an issue, but we'll just go ahead and do it. It's going to be 18 inches from the ground to the bottom, so that's going to be plenty. But we usually like to tell people, be careful on those steep driveways or hills. You don't want any bottom out or anything like that. Now, if you want to come in and look at the hitch, it goes in a 2-inch by 2-inch hitch right now. It also has a sleeve you can remove. It'll go 1 1/4 inch, but it can only be a Class 2 hitch. It's too heavy for a Class 1 hitch. And while we're here, I'll shake it back and forth. It's got an anti-rattle bolt that locks on this side, so I can shake the whole thing back and forth. There's no rattling whatsoever here at the base, so that's not something you got to worry about. I really like that, and like I said earlier, this lock is just for the protection, so not only can you lock the bikes in place, you can lock the bike rack to the hitch so that really nobody can mess with this. They can't take your bikes, and they can't take this out of your hitch. It's safe when you're not around. Seems I activated the thing down there to open up the back gate, but that being said, that about does it. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this helped.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway.